Scripture reads, "From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust and war in your members? Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. Do ye think that the Scripture saith in vain, the Spirit that dwelleth in us lust to envy? But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning, and your joy into heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up." We can move backwards to 2 Corinthians 6, verses 14 through 18. Also, very, very familiar scripture. The scripture reads, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty." Last scripture, going back into St. Luke, chapter 8, 41 through 50. Also very, very familiar scripture. The scripture reads, "And behold, there came a man named Jairus. He was a ruler of the synagogue, and he fell down at Jesus' feet and besought him that he would come to his house. He had only one daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay a-dying. As he went, people thronged him. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood was snatched. And Jesus said, Who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, Who touched thee? And Jesus said, Somebody hath touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace." I'm going to stop there. Our thought comes from verse 46, which reads, "And Jesus said, Somebody hath touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me." And our thought for this afternoon is the Midas touch. If we look at the scriptures, especially the previous scriptures that I have read to you, they deal a little bit with greed and covetousness, which we are warned about all through the scriptures. We have seen what greed, covetousness, having an ardent desire for something, even an envious desire, can be dangerous. Covetousness and greed can destroy families, it can destroy a relationship, it can destroy friendship, it can destroy you. And so we are warned against these things, and we see how in the scriptures that God doesn't bless when we ask out of greed and out of lust and envy and all of these type of things. We see the dangers of that. So we don't even have to look that far. We just look at the condition we're in today as far as economics is concerned. And it goes back to sin and greed.
Yes. Yes.
No matter how much you give some people, we used to think that $1 million was a big thing. Now today, if it's billions, people want more. And they are willing to take from you and to jeopardize and put their careers on the line to take what doesn't belong to them. It would be different if somebody was starving, and that still ain't no excuse. Stealing ain't no excuse regardless. What I'm saying is to have all that you will ever need and never have to want for anything, to go out and still rob and steal to get more just for conquest's sake, knowing that it is illegal, and to lose it all, to take a chance and lose it all. I mean, you have what people in society, most people in society, can't even dream of. And you don't have to do nothing. I mean, you've got it all, but yet all is still not enough in some circles. And as such, men and women have been brought before courts, have been jailed, and some have committed suicide when they have been found out and caught, all because of that little word called covetousness, which we have been warned about in the scripture. You don't have to be a billionaire to be greedy. You do not have to be in the billions and trillions to covet, to be envious, and to be greedy, and to step on people, and so on and so forth. You and I are, I would hope that we're better than that. God would want us to do much better than that in the way we treat one another, our neighbors, and to be honest before all men. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So you know what we're talking about now? We're talking about job losses and layoffs. We shouldn't even have to be dealing with a lot of this. There are enough resources in this country and in the world for everybody to have their fair share. But because of greed and injustice, we are where we are. And you know what? In times like these, somebody used to sing a song, in times like these, we need a Savior. When we go back and look at, maybe you all probably didn't read nursery rhymes when you were little. You may be a little too deep for that, but I read the story of King Midas. And he was a king that was asked, well, what do you want? By one of the gods or whatever. He did a good deed or whatever. The problem with King Midas was King Midas didn't think before he asked. You know, you ever know people like that? Who say the first thing that comes out of their mouth without thinking. And so King Midas said, well, you know what, I want everything that I touch, I want it to turn to gold. Because you know what, he saw the glitter, and man, if I had the golden touch, that everything that I touched would be prosperous. He said, okay, I'll give you your wish. So you know what happened? He got a little hungry, he touched his food, it turned to gold. Daughter rushed in one time or whatever and touched his daughter by mistake, she turned to gold. Everything, and so his dream turned out to be a nightmare. All because he didn't think before he asked for his petition. And sometimes if we're not careful, the thing that you may be seeking for, if it's out of envy, lust, greed, or covetousness, instead of being a blessing, it can turn out to be your worst nightmare.